Hey everyone, and welcome. So today, we're going to dive into the science behind something we all do pretty much every day, cooking. We're going beyond just the recipes to really understand the methods themselves. Think of this as your go-to revision guide. So let's get right into it.
Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll kick things off with a big question. Why do we even bother cooking? Then we'll jump into the three main ways to cook food. After that, we'll look at what actually happens to the nutrients in our food and how we can cook smarter to make our meals even healthier. And of course, we'll wrap it all up with a quick revision to help it all sink in.
So, let's kick things off with that big, basic question. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? There's this great story that our ancient ancestors discovered cooking totally by accident. Some meat fell into a fire, they decided to try it, and boom, the rest is history. That one little accident literally changed the course of human evolution.
But it's about so much more than just taste, right? Cooking is absolutely crucial. For starters, it breaks down tough fibers and starches, which makes food way easier for our bodies to digest. It also kills off any nasty germs and bacteria that could make us sick. And yeah, of course it makes food taste better, look better, and smell amazing. And get this, think about a single potato. How many ways can you cook it? That right there, that's the magic of cooking.
All right, let's get into the real heart of it. Believe it or not, almost every single cooking method you can think of falls into one of three main categories. Let's break them down. And here they are, the big three: moist heat, dry heat, and frying. It all comes down to what you're using to transfer that heat. Are you using water or steam, like with boiling? Are you using hot air, like when you're baking? Or are you using fat, like oil or ghee, for frying? That one choice changes everything. Okay, let's zoom in on one of these, starting with steaming. The key phrase here, and you really want to remember this, is without being in direct contact with it. See, the food isn't actually touching the boiling water. It's the hot steam that's doing all the work.
It's actually a super clever and simple process. You've got water boiling down below in one pot. The steam rises up through little holes into another pot or basket right above it, where your food is waiting. You pop a lid on top to trap all that steam, and it just circulates around, cooking the food gently and perfectly.
So, what's the deal with steaming? Why would you pick it? Okay, the number one reason, and you should definitely star this in your notes, is that it keeps the most nutrients in your food. It's also super light and easy on your stomach. The downside? Well, it can be a little slower than other methods, and let's be honest, you're not going to steam a cake, right?
Okay, let's tackle dry heat. Now, roasting and baking, people get these mixed up all the time. Here's the easiest way to remember it. Roasting is all about direct, open heat. Think corn on the cob over a fire. Baking happens in a closed space, like an oven, where hot air surrounds the food. That's for your breads, your cakes, all that good stuff.
And last but not least, we have frying. The big difference here, as you can probably guess, is all about how much oil you're using. Shallow frying is when you use just a tiny bit of oil in a pan, to make a paratha. Deep frying is when the food takes a full-on dive into a pot of hot oil, like for samosas and puris.
And here's a perfect look at shallow frying in action. And hey, a little pro tip for you. Non-stick pans are your best friend here. They're awesome because you can get things nice and crispy with just a fraction of the oil, making it a much healthier choice. Okay, so we've talked about the how of cooking, but what's actually going on inside the food while it heats up? This next part is all about that science, what we gain from cooking, and sometimes what we can accidentally lose. All right, first step, let's talk about water-soluble vitamins. The name tells you everything you need to know. Vitamins like B complex and C dissolve in water. And trust me, that little fact is a huge deal when it comes to cooking. And this is probably one of the most important takeaways today, so listen up. When you boil something like rice or vegetables, those B and C vitamins actually escape and seep into the cooking water. So when you pour that water down the sink, you're literally washing nutrients right down the drain. That starchy water, that's liquid gold. Now, on the other hand, you've got fat-soluble vitamins. That's A, D, E, and K. And you guessed it, they dissolve in fat. The thing to note here is that super high heat, especially from deep frying where that oil gets incredibly hot, can absolutely wreck certain vitamins, especially vitamin A. Okay, but wait, it's not all bad news. Cooking isn't just about losing nutrients. There are actually clever ways to boost the nutrition in your food before you even turn on the stove. Let's talk about cooking smarter, not harder. First up, we have fermentation.
This is just an amazing process where good little microorganisms do all the work for you. For foods like idli and dokla, this process not only makes them super light and fluffy, it actually creates new B and C vitamins. It's like a free nutritional upgrade. And another brilliant trick is germination. You probably know it as sprouting. When you let pulses or grains sprout, you're waking them up, and that process actually multiplies the amount of vitamins they have, especially those B vitamins. It's such a simple way to basically supercharge your food. All right, you've made it to the home stretch. Let's pull everything together and do a super quick recap of the key things you absolutely need to remember. Okay, ready? Here we go. First, cooking keeps us safe and helps us digest our food. When you want to save the most nutrients, steaming is the undisputed champion. That water you boiled your rice or veggies in, that's liquid nutrition. Don't you dare throw it out. Also, always wash your vegetables before you chop them up. And finally, don't forget that fermentation and germination are your secret weapons for boosting vitamins.
All right, time to test your knowledge. First question. Which of these moist heat methods is the best for holding on to nutrients? Is it steaming, boiling, or stewing? If you picked A, steaming, you nailed it. Awesome!
Okay, question number 2. True or false, if you throw out that extra water from boiling rice, you're also throwing out nutrients? And the answer is a big, resounding true. You're losing all those amazing water-soluble vitamins.
And to wrap things up, I want to leave you with this thought. Learning all this is great, but putting it into practice is where the magic really happens. So, based on everything we've talked about, what's one simple change you're going to try in your kitchen this week? Thanks for joining me, and happy cooking.